come on. Let's be positive. Just stop right there. No negativity. Let's be positive. LBP. Let's be positive.
LBP, let's be positive. The Doggies go 1 and 2, just like the Warriors. The Marty Cup, what a hell of an experience down there with over 10,000 people. I want you to be positive about Russell Coutts. I want you to be positive about the Crusaders, and I want you to be positive about Max Verstappen. But how many times have you watched their Dogs' performance?
Pretty much constantly. Absolutely constantly. I just keep putting it on. I've got a couple of minutes. I think to myself, you know what? It's been so long that I have to see it again. And 1996 was the last time we held anyone to 0 at home. And I know it was the Titans. Let's just move on from that. You say the Titans are in 16th, they're hopeless, they're winless. But so were we. We were there before them. So to beat a team like that and not let them even look like they were going to score, except for when Top Knot, you know, our mate Top Knot knocked it on early in the game when he was actually over the line. But apart from that, they never looked like putting points on the board. Absolutely buzzing. I just can't believe it. A green arrow and climbed right up to 12th place, mate.
And now the Rabbits. I mean, there's no better team and rebel to play this weekend than that. That's on Friday night, mate. I mean, you must be just thinking, okay, we're 2 and 2. Top 8, here we come.
I can't see it any other way. We will clean the Rabbits up, as most teams I think will this year, unless they have a massive turnaround. But yeah, it's great to get a win like that and then play the Bunnies, so to speak, who are actually the Bunnies, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's right. And I feel the same way about the Wales, mate, because all of a sudden, once you got a win, you're up and running. And then you start looking down the fixtures. Oh, I reckon we had 2 points there. I think we win that one there. I think we win that one there. And all of a sudden, I'm thinking 5 and 2.
Yeah. Well, what the Warriors have got the Knights this coming weekend. And the Knights got a win on the weekend. They're second of the season. They didn't look too bad. Actually, I think they look quite good. It will be a good game. But Warriors are up for it. Good to see them back in last week's round. And wasn't it great to see Rogers score? If he can do that from the centres all year, there'll be no need to speak of him at fullback. I had been thinking, Martin, before last week's game, I wonder how he'd go at fullback with a bit more room, but maybe we just need to give him time in the centres to develop more room there, because the try he scored just showed how strong and how fit and how good he looks at the moment. So that was great for the Warriors.
Marty Cup, how cool is the experience and how good has it been surrounded by 10,000 people who are just absolutely in love with what it is they're there for?
Yeah, look, it's a mad rowing week. There's no two ways about it. Over the decade or so I've been living here, the Twizel area school, Marty, they just haven't had a squad. There's been a pair here or a sculler there, but they've never had a team as such. And over the last 2 years, they've put together a good team. They ended up with about 30 at the start of the year, which has dwindled to about 15, but the coaches say they're the kids that are giving it a go. So 10,000 people, 2,200 young rowers, and interacting like they weren't able to do during the COVID years. It's been 5 years since they've been able to actually not be distanced from each other down here. The competition is phenomenal, and the level of commitment that these kids put in to become rowers, I think, is really what the sport's about. You know, if you ask anyone to name you, 5 rowers that have been in a Marty Cup 8 boat to win that over the years, you wouldn't know, Martin. You know, you don't remember it, but the kids remember the experience, and it's the largest regatta in the country. It's one of the biggest sporting events in the country. I got to catch up with Mark Watson, who was down there doing the commentary, which was being streamed on Stuff, but also a number of outlets around the world. And it was awesome to catch up with Watto and do a little bit of commentary with him on one of the races. But I haven't been too involved in it. But this year, knowing so many people whose kids are in boats, knowing the coaches, knowing a lot more about the way this team's worked, there was a Marty Cup fever in this town like we've never seen before. And honestly, not my favourite sport, but thoroughly enjoyable week. I was down there in the Aon corporate tent on Saturday. And you know how much I love a corporate tent.
Oh, no, who doesn't love a corporate tent?
It couldn't have been better. The only problem was I got the free lunch, but it was a salmon bagel. I mean, my wife runs a salmon farm. Like, I need a salmon bagel. I wanted the roast beef. But apart from that,
there's
the
always
beer was
something
all
to
free.
I mean, let's be positive about that. So be positive about Russell Coutts.
Well, why would you want to protect Hector's Dolphins when you've got a boat race to put on, the SailGP? Oh, look, this one to me is one of those situations where this is the world we live in.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
We protect these animals. We go out of our way to do it. People get fined. That you could go to jail for interference with these animals. If they're there, the likelihood of them being struck by a boat, look, I don't know what that would be. You'd think they'd clear out of town when there was a little bit of action around them. But dolphins tend to be attracted to people.
Yeah, they love
I don't know much about Hector's. I don't know much about Hector's, but dolphins seem to be intelligent and they like to interact. So, yes, the fans were a little bit disappointed. Russell doesn't want to come back, but he's a dummy spitter anyway. If it doesn't go his way, he doesn't like it. And most of the time, let's be honest, it's gone his way. He hasn't had too bad of a time over the last 20 years, has he? But look, it's a simple fact of you can complain all you like. And you can come out and say, these environmental policies are going to ruin sport and events in this country. Well, I just think that's absolute madness. Now, why would anything just stop because of it? I know it's an inconvenience, but just like rain at a test match, sometimes the fans get let down.